Hello guys, in this video I want to talk about Microsoft Forms. Microsoft Forms is a product that is released by Microsoft about a year or two ago, and it's been growing in popularity since. Basically, it's a product that lets you create surveys or questionnaires for your audience and collect feedback. So, in order to get to Forms, what you need to do is you can go to office.com, and once you sign in into office.com, you should see the icons for Microsoft Forms. Now, if you don't see the icon for your tenant, it means that you probably don't have access to it, or maybe your admin turn it off. For example, if I click on all apps right here, you should be able to see Forms. If you don't see it, either you don't have a license for it or your admin has disabled Microsoft Forms for you. Also, this is the previous view for Microsoft Forms. The new view is something like this. As you can see, this is a more streamlined view compared to this. So, but I'm going to use this one, which they're pretty much the same, when it comes to how they function. So let's just use this because this is what you might actually see by the time you're watching this video. So, again, Microsoft Form is just a platform for you to create surveys, collect responses from people, or you can even create tests like questions and answers as well, and assign a particular grade to that questions and answers. And once you log in, again, the first thing you're gonna see is a big button right here for you to create a form. Now, you can create quiz also, like it's mentioned, but we're going to focus on form for now. These are some of the forms that I've created in the past, and you can also share your forms with other people. And if somebody shared a form with you, it will show up under shared with me. So, and if you have a pinned one, it will show up here too. There's also the group forms. This is if you are part of a Teams channel. And in that Teams channel, somebody created Microsoft Forms. This is where you will access that as well. So you have different ways where you can actually access forms. In order for you to create one, just go ahead and click on new form, and you can just start filling out the details. The first thing you want to do is give your form a name. So in this case, let's say we want to collect food survey, something like that. And then you can enter your description, understand people's eating habit. And all you have to do is just click on add new. You can put a picture here as well if you want to personalize this. So let's just look for a picture real quick. All right, let's use this one. So here you have it. And then you click on new and you have several options here that you can use. Microsoft also is now recommending some of the templates you might want to use. You come in, what's your name, food preferences, dietary restrictions. This is if you are trying to organize like a party or a get together. You can just simply use this to collect those information. But right now we're just gonna go with the options that you have here. You have choice, which when you click on it, it gives people to select a choice. You can have multiple choices here. So, for example, what was your last dinner? And over here, maybe we put something like burger and rice. Uh, and you can decide to allow multiple answers. So if you want them to check several options, you can check that. If not, you can uncheck this and they will only have option to select one of this. answers. You can also make sure that it's required. That way, the person cannot skip this question. And before we even go forward, you may want to ask for their name. So, uh, to ask for a name, you can just use text right over here. So I can move this up by clicking this. It will go up, and now the what was your last dinner is now number two. So I can say, what is your full name, for example, here, and I can say that is required as well. You can also have like subtitles in here. So, for example, if you wanted to type their name in a particular format, you can put a description here that, first name, comma, last name, for example. And the next thing we want to ask is, let's say we want to ask something like, are you open to dieting? And we give them option here, yes or no. There's also some suggested options. So I can add all of this at once and it will show yes, no, maybe right over here. Or maybe you want to put NA here. It's all up to you. You can also delete the options here and you can add more options or simply just add other option. And do you want to make sure that this is also required? And the next thing is, so let's say if they are open to dieting, we want to suggest some dieting programs for them. So we're going to also select choice here. Which dieting option would you prefer? So let's say we're gonna say intermittent fasting here as an option, and the next one is keto dieting. So the reason why I'm adding this is because I want to show you a feature known as branching. And so let's just go ahead and finish this question. So the next one is, let me just put a rating here, and we're gonna say rate these questionnaires 1 to 5, and also make that required. So what we want to do here is that we want to make sure that only those that actually click yes in number 3 get number 4 option. So what we can do here is that we can introduce what they call branching. So when I click on branching, what it does is you can navigate to a section of the questions based on the answer. So I can say, if this person click yes in the are you open to dieting, then move them to which dieting option would you prefer. If they say no, then move them straight to rate this questionnaire. And if they say maybe, then also move them to which diet option would you prefer. So let's go see how this works once the question is built out. What we can do next is now click on preview to see exactly what this looks like to the conventional users that you're going to be sending these to. So let's click on preview. And as you can see, this is the name, this is the format that was specified as a subtitle of this question. So I can say something like, my name is John. What is your last dinner? I can select burger. Are you open to dieting? So in this case, you can see that there is no place else for me to go after number 3 until I select something in number 3. So let's just say that I click no. You can see that it takes me straight to rate the questionnaire. But if I click yes, then I have one more question, which is to select which dieting option I prefer. And I say this is going to be keto, and and then I can read the question and then click on submit. And this is what the user will see when they click on submit, and that's it. So now, as you can see on the response tab, I can now view what the person just entered, or if maybe you've had like 10 responses, you can see all those responses here. You can either click on these more details to view more information about the person that actually filled it out and for which question. You can click on that particular view details to just view details about that questions. You can also see this very nice graph here that will tell you the percentage of people that click no, yes, and maybe. And another thing you can do is click on view results here to actually go through the result one by one and go through all of them in the whole questionnaire one by one, and you will have the next button here to take it to the next answers. Not only that, you can open these in Excel. So if you have, let's say, I don't know, 20 or maybe 100 people responded that you want to be able to break it down in Excel, you can also open the item also in Excel. Another thing you can do here is that you can share the summary of this information. So if you want to print the summary, you can do that. If you want to delete all the responses, maybe you've already collected all your responses and you want to send it out again to a group of other people and you don't want the answers to mix up, so you can delete all the responses. Obviously you want to download the existing ones that people already filled out before you delete all the responses again, but you can do that here. You can also create this summary link where it will actually, anybody you send this to will actually be able to view the summary of the response. This is very good for like sharing with management or people in the higher up because they don't want to see every single detail. Sometimes they just want to look at the high level information. So if I paste that link up here, you can see that it will only show me um, the survey summaries. So as you can see here, all I see here is just the graph and how many people click yes or no. So this would be, let's say 10 people click yes, there'll be 10 here, and let's say two people click maybe, then there'll be two here. So also it will give it aggregate of your rating. So if let's say the aggregate is about 4.3 out of 5, then that's what you will see here. So this is very good if you trying to share the software with your manager, but you don't want them to have to go through every single question to see what's going on, then this create summary link. It's a very good way to do that. So the next thing also is that you can specify a theme for your forms. So if you want it to have some more colorful themes, then you can select those here. As you can see, the color changes, or you can select something like this where it has this nice backgrounds as well. There's also a way for you to upload your own. So let's say you are a company and you want to have your logo and everything in the background. You can do this here as well. And the next thing I want to talk about is sharing this form. So you can click on share right over here. And this is the link that you will use to actually share the response. I'm sorry, to actually have people submit responses to your form. So if you copy this and you paste it into an email somewhere, then anybody that clicked on it will be taken to the form where they can actually submit their response. You can also share this as a template. So if you get to do this a lot and you don't want to have to be recreating this every single time, you can share it as a template as well to your colleagues. That way they can use it to create other forms in the future. You can also have a QR barcode. This is very good if you have, maybe you are talking in a seminar and you want to quickly show that, okay, could you please fill out this three questions for me real quick. Just scan your barcode and it will take you to the link directly, and then you can go ahead and fill it out. So you can do that as well here. And also you can put this in a web page, so in a high frame format where you can insert the actual form into a web page, which is very, very neat. Also, you can send this out as an email from this button right here. Another thing you can do here is that you can change this here from only people in my organization can respond to anyone with the link can respond. If you're creating this in order to send to your customers outside of your company, that you want to select this. The way I do this is that I typically don't ask for names if I am sending it to people inside my organization, because Forms is smart enough to automatically pull their email addresses because they will be authenticated to sign in into Forms, and once they fill it out, it will automatically record their email addresses. But because people from outside cannot authenticate into your Office 365, that's when you want to use anyone with a link and respond. So anytime you use anyone with a link, make sure that you ask for their name. Because if you don't ask for the name at that point, their names will just show as anonymous. And that's it. You won't know who filled it out. Unless you're just trying to aggregate the data, you don't really care about who filled it out, then you can not ask people their name when you're sending it outside of your organization. One more option here is the ability to collaborate. So if I want to share this, so let's say I have somebody that works with me and they're not really sure on how to use forms and I want to get them started. So I created this to get them going, or maybe we're just going to be collaborating in this form for the next couple of days or something. Then you can use this to get a link, and anybody you share this link with inside your organization will be able to actually go into forms, and they'll be able to edit the questions that you have here. They can add more questions if they want. And the way for them to access that is when they go to forms page, it will be under shared with me. So whatever you share with them will actually show up on their shared with me. But they need to make sure they click on this link once you send it out to them. That way, the forms can actually appear in their own portal as well. So that is really all there is to it. There's also some options here for if you want to use uh, other languages as well. You can add that also here. But really, that is all to this to form. So you can use this anyhow. I use this for creating just normal forms. You can also add forms into your team. So if you have Microsoft Teams, you can actually link a form to it and ask the question inside that form in your Microsoft Teams. I click on forms and it can ask you here, what can I do? You can say, I want to create a new poll, and it will ask you, okay, what are the questions that you want to create? I can say, for example, what is the version of your Word application, and I can put several versions here: 17.0, 18.1, and so on and so forth. And click next and click send. So now, as you can see, any member of this team will be able to actually come in here and submit a vote, and then click submit, for example, and you'll be able to see the data right over here, the response. Anything you create here also is accessible in your forms portal. So if you go back to the forms portal, you will still be able to access that data. And you can also use forms inside Microsoft Stream. So if you use Microsoft Stream, which is an application for you to record videos and share your videos in your company, you can actually add forms also to it, like at the end of the video. So this is very important for if you are creating like a training and you want to test people's knowledge. After the training, you can create forms separately and actually link that form into your stream video at the end of it. So you can link form into a lot of different product in Office 365. Another thing you can do is inside Outlook as well, you can do the same thing. So this is my Outlook Online, and if I go to this button right here, you will see an option for poll. And this poll is actually running Microsoft Forms in the background, and I can do the same thing right here. So this is an example of a poll that I just quickly created in this form, and I can insert it right into my email. So here it is right here. Got it. And what I can do is send this out to people, and they will be able to respond right within the email that I sent out. So they don't need to click a separate form to respond to that questions. So this is an example. So this is an example of what the user will see on their side when I send the survey out. What is your flavor? As you can see, I can actually respond right within Outlook here. Mind you, you must have Outlook, you must be running anything from 1911 version using Microsoft Outlook Online. That's where you will get this feature. If you don't have those two things, then you will have to actually click on this button right over here in order to take you to the form page where you can actually fill it out. But this is very neat because it increases response rate just because people don't have to click anywhere else to actually put the answer in. They can just do it right from within Outlook. Again, they must be running the latest version of Outlook out there. Outlook Monthly channel will have the most up to date, and also Microsoft Outlook Online. So that is all I have to share with you guys when it comes to Microsoft Forms. If you have any questions specifically to how to use this, or maybe there's something in there you're trying to use and it's just not working, you can drop me a comment down below. Thank you, and have a great day.